It looks like it, and he starts tonight, and the Everton fans making their message clear away to our left in the Gladys Street end. Onwards Evertonians is hanging down from the first tier, and next to it, we shall not be moved, say the Everton fans. And this lot have protested before, and they've done it very well. They've done it peacefully, but they've done it emphatically, and I'm pretty sure they just won't let this lie. The 10-point deduction and the further charge as well. Expect the Everton fans to mobilise, get behind their club and fight for what they think is rightful justice. You can hear Z cars in the background. The cheers for the Everton team on their way out, and alongside them Crystal Palace as well. The officials leading the way ahead of this cup tie. If you're truly in love with football, then you love the FA Cup just like we do on Talksport. What a chance on offer for these two here at Goodison. A home tie awaits in round 4. Win that and suddenly you're down to the last 16. Everton haven't won a major trophy this century. Crystal Palace have never won a major trophy. The FA Cup is the dream. Who's going to make that dream come true? Live on Talksport, it's Everton against Crystal Palace with former England defender Danny Mills alongside the pick of the bunch, Ian Danta.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you wherever and however you're listening to us on Talksport. Well, these two sides kicked off round 3 of the FA Cup nearly 2 weeks ago in South London, and the smart money says one of them will have the last kick in this third round too. Many are suggesting that extra time and penalties will be needed to separate these two Premier League sides after the Selhurst stalemate. Everton, in amongst all the off-field stories that we've just been talking about, haven't scored in their last 3 matches, and Crystal Palace just 1 defeat in 5, but they haven't played in the 13 days since the original tie, and will need to get to the pace of this game pretty quickly, you'd suspect. It's a cold, crisp night on Merseyside. There was snow on the pitch yesterday, but the undersoil heating has seen to that. And Everton make a number of changes to the 0-0 draw they got here on Sunday against Villa. 4 in all. João Virginia played in goal in the original tie, and he's back in for Jordan Pickford. Seamus Coleman has a slight tightness in his hamstring, so Nathan Patterson comes in for him. Doucouré is out with fatigue. Dwight McNeil returns. He got half an hour against Villa after an ankle knock. And Andre Gomes is preferred to Arnaud Danjuma. As for Crystal Palace, Sam Johnston hasn't played for over a month since his injury late on in December against Liverpool. He comes in for Dean Henderson. Will Hughes returns for the young Brazilian Matheus França, and Odson Edouard is preferred to Jean-Philippe Mateta up front for the Eagles. So Virginia in goal for Everton, Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikalenko across the back 4. Garner and Onana are the holders in midfield, with Harrison, Gomez and McNeil behind Calvert-Lewin in attack. For Palace, Johnston the keeper, Klein, Anderson, Gahey and Mitchell, Richardson, Lerma holding in midfield, Hughes, Eze and Schlupp in behind Edouard in attack. On the bench for Everton, Pickford, Lonergan, Keane, Danjuma, Beto, Godfrey, Chermiti, Hunt and Dobbin. The Palace bench, Henderson, Tompkins, França, Mateta, Ebiowe, Ahamada, Riedewald, Adaramola and Ozo. Tony Harrington's our referee. Everton in their traditional blue shirts, white shorts and socks. Palace in a chain strip. They've got the sash, the sky blue sash on their white shirts, sky blue shorts and slightly darker blue socks. A bit of a mix and match, I think, from Crystal Palace for this particular away strip. And they will have the off, and they're kicking towards the Gladys Street to our left-hand side as myself and Danny and Adrian sit midway back in the main stand here at Goodison Park, with the park end to our right. That's the end that Everton are attacking in this first half, and that's where Calvert-Lewin is charging down to the right-hand side, but Mark Gahey protects the ball well out for a goal kick, which Sam Johnston will have. Back in the side tonight, been out since the 9th of December, and he will take the goal kick. He's wearing all orange tonight. João Virginia, Everton keeper, in all green. He was one of the major interviewees in tonight's programme. Talked about coming through the Benfica youth system and coming over to England to join the Arsenal academy at a very young age. Ended up staying at Eddie Nketiah's place whilst he was finding his way in English football. Let's see how busy Palace keep him tonight. Here's Calvert-Lewin, and then played through by Andre Gomes to try and get Everton in behind. It's cleared away by Tyreek Mitchell. Under pressure, from Jack Harrison. That'll be a throw-in to Everton. We've played a minute, and here's Danny Mills alongside me tonight.
Didn't fancy giving that back to the goalkeeper, did he?
No.
You know, a lot of teams would have gone, OK, give it to the goalkeeper, then make an angle. Again, maybe that's Sam Johnson, like you said, hasn't played for a month or so, hasn't played with these players too much. Maybe they're a little bit unsure about it.
Jared Branthwaite looks for a diagonal ball to pick out Harrison. Mitchell just gets a foot in. Chested down in midfield by Jefferson Lerma for Crystal Palace, but Everton won it back, but not for long. Dwight McNeil was dispossessed, and it's back with the back two, Gahey and Anderson for Palace. Short pass into Jefferson Lerma, put him under pressure, but the ball broke kindly for Tyreek Mitchell. Tried to feed it forward, but one back for Everton by Tarkowski. Chance for Andre Gomez to go for goal, and he hits it straight at Sam Johnson, who gobbles it up gratefully in front of his goal line. 2 minutes gone, 0-0.
Tarkowski did really well. Nipped in front, won the ball, then a nice little ball into Andre Gomez. It just opened up for him on his left foot. Thinking, he was almost looking for a pass, and then it opened up again. He thought, I'll have a strike. Hit a little bit of a knuckle ball. Fortunately for Sam Johnson, it was straight at him.
Fired downfield by Nathaniel Klein, but it's won back on halfway by Everton, and Tarkowski would just let it run back for Joao Virginia. Into the feet of Onana, being closed down by Will Hughes, but that's a quick pass for Patterson, but Hughes will win it back, and Eze gets his first touch of the night, and he's caught by Onana, and that's a free kick to Crystal Palace. We'll keep you in touch with events at the Mem tonight down in Bristol. Ian Abrahams is there to watch the tie between Bristol Rovers and Norwich City for the right to play Liverpool in round 4. And don't forget, over on Talksport 2 right now, they're underway at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool against Nottingham Forest. If you've got the app downloaded, you can just swipe between the two stations and pick up commentary of whichever game you prefer. But 0-0 everywhere tonight in the FA Cup replays. Here's a free kick then for Palace, midway point of the Everton half. Eze clips it up to the edge of the area. Klein tries to go up for a header, drops for Will Hughes, right hand side of the box. He tried to fire it across the face of goal, and it will break for Chris Richards. Given back to the right hand side, cross in, was headed away by Onana under pressure, but it will drop on the left hand side for Crystal Palace, and it's worked back in the end to Jefferson Lerma, but a dangerous ball in. Palace were nearly in there.
Yeah, what they should be, Everton should be good at defending crosses. Some good defenders in there that are very, very willing to go and head the ball.
Now ball forward for Calvert-Lewin up against Nathaniel Klein. He won the header. Anderson goes across in front of the Palace fans, who haven't filled out their full allocation, I think it's fair to say, in the Bullens Road paddock. But everywhere else around Goodison Park looks very, very full indeed. But in fairness to the Palace fans, coming up here on a Wednesday night for a replay isn't ideal. Everton have the throw down by the corner flag left hand side as they attack the park end, but they've made a bit of a Horlicks of that. They have won another throw though, level with the edge of the penalty area, that Mikalenko wants to take quickly. Gomez comes short, gives it back to the Ukrainian, tries to nip inside Jefferson Lerma, but the ball drifts out of play, and Palace have themselves a throw in their right back position. 0-0 the score. Palace twice FA Cup finalists, twice beaten by Manchester United when they got there. The most recent being 2016. We all remember Alan Pardew's little dance routine after Palace took the lead. He's back on Sunday with DJ Majestic with the final word after all the Sunday action on Talksport. Now down the right hand side, a flying run by Jeffrey Schlupp, but he's caught as he got down the right hand side for Crystal Palace. Another free kick to the visitors right on the touchline on the far side, midway point of the Everton half. 0-0.
I think Tarkowski might be a little bit fortunate to have gotten away without a yellow card in that instance. He slides in from 4 or 5 yards away. Schlupp just toes it past him. He brings him down. He would have been in on goal, but he would have been down towards the byline to certainly get a cross in. I think that's what the Palace players are complaining, really. They wanted a yellow card out.
Tony Harrington kept his card in his pocket, but it is a Crystal Palace free kick out on the right hand side, and Eberechi Eze is going to take it and try and swing it into the area. Hits it at pace. It's headed out of the near post by Branthwaite. Comes out to the centre of the Everton half, but Palace win possession back. Try and sweep it out to this near side of the left. Good ball infield from Anderson. He was caught late by Calvert-Lewin. Again, no yellow card, whilst Anderson's writhing around on the deck. But eventually it will be another Palace free kick, and Anderson not happy at the fact that no card was issued for that challenge. Danny Mills.
Again, a little bit surprised by that. Don't want players going into the book early on. But he slides in from behind, gets the man, not the ball. I'm not sure what the criteria is for a yellow card, because I thought that was it.
Maybe Dominic Calvert-Lewin's on a slightly different set of rules tonight after what happened at Selhurst Park 13 days ago.
Well, he should be.
Eze with the free kick again then for Crystal Palace to the left of centre, midway point of the Everton half, with Palace attacking the Gladys Street away to our left. It's a poor delivery from Eze, comfortably cleared away from Everton. Harrison tries to bring it away, but he's lost out. It was good covering from Jeffrey Schlupp, and Palace have possession again just inside their own half with Tyrick Mitchell. Eze elects to go back to Sam Johnston, and the former Villa and West Brom goalkeeper just rolls his foot on the ball inside the D and clips it right-footed over the halfway line, over the head of Schlupp, and it will drop for Onana on halfway. Finds Dwight McNeil, who had an ankle injury. We weren't expecting him back quite so soon, Dwight McNeil, but he got half an hour against Villa here on Sunday in the Premier League. João Virginia, booming clearance from him with his left foot downfield, asking McNeil to give chase. Richards, the American international, will just let it drift out of play for a Crystal Palace blow. We've played 7 minutes here on Talksport. It is 0-0 in this all Premier League replay. A home tie against Luton Town a week on Saturday is the prize. Luton got through last night against Bolton up there in Greater Manchester. Edouard loses out, trying to win a header just shy of the halfway line, and then pressure on James Garner, and he's being fouled. The referee says that's a free kick to Everton, to be taken by Tarkowski just shy of the halfway line. Clips it early down the left hand side, looking for McNeil. Richards is there again to apply a header clear. Gomez lets it drift out of play for a throw to the Toffees. No real pattern set in this game, Danny Mills, at 0-0.
Hasn't really settled down as yet. Both teams struggling to keep hold of the ball for more than 4 or 5 passes at times. Both working very, very hard to close each other down. We know that neither team's, I guess, strongest asset is keeping the ball, is it, playing out from the back. You know, they're both hard working, both attritional teams.
Ball played back to halfway. Tarkowski keeps the ball away from Eze, and then Onana spreads play out to Nathan Patson, who's got some space to run into as he moves into the Palace half. Squares the ball in field for Onana. Quick pass for Garner, and now on the right hand side, Jack Harrison up against Mitchell, gets the cross in, but it's cleared away. Garner puts the second ball into the box. Great turn from Gomez, just couldn't get the ball under his spell. The first touch was delightful to buy himself 2 yards of space inside the area, but then he couldn't control it as the ball dropped out of the sky, and Palace have a goal kick. 0-0 with 9 minutes gone on Talksport.
It was a great little touch. He just sort of turned it round the corner, looking to make half a yard for himself to get the shot away, and it just seemed to pop up. Yeah, it did. It just bounced awkwardly for him as he tried to turn it around. Maybe just dug it into the ground a little bit, and then he was waiting for it to drop before he could have the shot. And unfortunately for him, the defender came in and got half a touch in the clearance.
You're listening to Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0 in the FA Cup on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. Palace in possession inside their own half with Joachim Andersen. Very central, looks left and spreads play out to Tyrick Mitchell, who's one-on-one with Nathan Patterson, but Patterson holds him up well, so the ball's rolled back into midfield for Will Hughes, and Hughes via Gahey gives the ball back to Chris Richards. Quite a fluid looking Palace lineup, the way that they switch things around. Richards is more often in the right back position than you'd expect Nathaniel Klein to be in. Here is Klein a bit further down the field, picking possession up just shy of the halfway line. Schlupp tries to protect the ball, but he's given it away. Calvert-Lewin for Everton, centre of the Palace half. Options right and left, goes right for Jack Harrison, down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Held up by Gay, who's forcing him out towards this near touchline. Still got it though, Harrison. Keeps it in play, but then gives it to Eberechi Eze, who just got in front and put himself between Harrison and the ball, but the ball clips up to halfway, is nowhere near Odson Edouard, and Everton can tidy up. 10 gone, 0-0.
Well, I think you said that fluid formation. I think it's more 5 at the back for Palace. You know, with a wing back. So the way that you're looking at it,
Richards is definitely on the right side of a 3.
I'm not sure if they started like that, maybe they just dropped into that.
Yeah, with Anderson central and Gahey to the left, Mitchell and Klein operating as wing backs. At times. As I say, it's a fairly fluid system that Palace have. Everton have won a free kick, taken quickly down the right-hand side, asking Calvert-Lewin to give chase, and it forces Anderson to somewhat sloppily put the ball out of play for a Everton throw. And Harrison will leave it for Nathan Patterson, who's in for Seamus Coleman, who became Everton's record appearance holder on Sunday, eclipsing Tim Howard's brilliant record of Premier League appearances. 15 years at the club, Seamus Coleman, but tight hamstring keeps him out tonight.
Do you think his 60 grand fee falls into financial fair play?
Yeah, exactly right.
Is that what sent them over, do you think?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Seamus Coleman, 60 grand.
The straw that broke the camel's back. 0-0 on Talksport. Eze looked like he'd pulled back Nathan Patterson. Indeed he had, spotted by Tony Harrington. Another free kick to Everton, just inside the Palace half, not far from the two technical areas, just down beneath us. Both managers stood at the edge. Hodgson to our left and Dyche to our right. Roy Hodgson's never won the FA Cup in his illustrious career. Sean Dyche famously reached a semi-final and scored in a semi-final for Chesterfield against Middlesbrough back in 1997. James Garner wanted to take the free kick but had stolen a yard as far as the referee was concerned, and he's had to roll the ball back to the halfway line before he will clip the ball diagonally right to left, looking for a head to go up and win it for Everton at the edge of the area. Instead, Richards wins the header for Palace. Schlupp tries to keep it in play on the far side, but it's out for an Everton throw, taken quickly by Mikalenko, and McNeil will go back to Tarkowski in the centre of his own half. We'll check in at the men with Ian Abrahams in a minute, but here's Calvert-Lewin striding forward onto a long pass into the area, gets the shot away, turned behind by Johnson. That might have been on target, not sure. Sam Johnson couldn't just let it go, tipped it behind for Everton's first corner of the game at 0-0.
Really good play from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It was just a ball over the top into that space. Nothing wrong with that. Put the ball in there sometimes. He has a magnificent first touch. And as Johnson just comes across, he just paused, hesitates, let Johnson sort of almost run past him, then shoots on the inside. And Sam Johnson makes a smart save. Might just have been creeping wide, but he wasn't to know that.
Short corner for Everton on this near side of the right. McNeil clips it to the far post. Heads go up, might drop on the 6-yard line, volleyed away by Schlupp. Brought down by Nathan Patterson, who lobs it back into the Crystal Palace area. Headed up and away by Joachim Anderson. Comes down to Mikalenko. Out to the left-hand side for Everton. Mikalenko goes again for the byline, hits it against Richards. Second corner in quick succession at the park end to the Toffees, 0-0.
And we know that Everton are very, very dangerous from set pieces. Got some big, strong headers of the ball in there. If the delivery's right, we'll always give them a chance.
Andre Gomez going over to where the Bullens Road meets the park end to take what will be a right-footed in-swinging corner for Everton. A couple of players around the penalty spot. In it comes from Gomez, headed up by Will Hughes at the near post for Palace. Eze tries to help it clear. Patterson drives for goal from fully 35 yards out, but it hits a forest of legs, and suddenly there's a counter-attack on for Crystal Palace. Edouard giving chase down the right-hand side. Now Everton have got bodies back, but it's found Jefferson Lerma right-hand side of the box, and he went for goal from that right-hand corner and got way underneath it. Goal kick to Everton, but bit of danger on the counter-attack from Crystal Palace there. 0-0 as we reach 15 minutes on Talksport.
Yeah, but as it came back to Lerma, he had a bad first touch and then he panicked a little bit, snatched at it and blazed it way high into the Gladys Street end.
Let's check in one of the other FA Cup replays tonight at the Mem down in Bristol with Talksport's Ian Abrahams.
Bristol Rovers 0, Norwich 0. Rovers by far the better side so far. Luke McCormack with a little lob over the goalkeeper and the net, and a header from Luke Thomas, which likewise just went over the top at the best moments so far. League One Bristol Rovers 0, Championship Norwich 0.
Harrison for Everton down the right hand side, 0-0 here on Talksport. Gets to the right hand corner of the box, lovely ball in just over the head of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who stretched his neck muscles on the 6-yard line but just couldn't apply the finish. Everton starting to warm to their task on a chilly night on Merseyside, 0-0.
And that's where Everton can be dangerous on the counter-attack, getting those wide players. Dwight McNeil down one side, Harrison on this occasion. You know what he's going to do. Dominic Calvert-Lewin knows he's going to cut inside, open his body up and clip it towards the far post, and that's great for a centre forward because he can make runs off the back of that. There's nothing worse if you've got the Peter Beagrie syndrome. You check one way, then check the other, then check back again, then check back again. Everyone gets a little bit dizzy at that. So great play from Harrison. Get the ball out of your feet, get it into the box.
The other replay still goalless as well, by the way, over on Talksport 2. That's Blackpool against Nottingham Forest. Jim Proudfoot and Chris Willamo are your commentary team at Bloomfield Road. If you've got the app downloaded, so easy to swipe between not just the two Talksport stations, but also Virgin Radio, Times Radio and Talk TV via the Talksport app. Mitchell wins the ball back for Crystal Palace, just inside the Everton half, but his ball in field intended for Eze is picked off by James Garner. He was caught as he pirouetted very neatly to shy of the halfway line. Lerman, the man that took him down. Again, no further punishment from referee Harrington. Instead, it's a free kick taken quickly and short by Everton to Patterson, who lobs it forward again, looking for Calvert-Lewin, brings it down at the edge of the area. Richards gets back at him, and only then does the flag go up from the assistant on this near side to give Crystal Palace a free kick at 0-0.
He'd had 4 touches.
Yeah.
And then the flag goes up. Have the referees, linesmen, assistants not learned anything from the weekend when Edison gets injured? The moment he touches... OK, if you're going to let it play, fine. But the moment he touches the ball, you've got to put your flag up, because if not, tackles start coming in.
Don't forget you can react to all tonight's FA Cup replay action on the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara, Jason Cundy, straight after this commentary at 10 p.m. And then on breakfast tomorrow, Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbon-Lahore. And they'll be joined by the likes of Phil Jagielka, Chris Wokes and Graham Swan, with, of course, our coverage of the England tour to India upcoming on Talksport 2. And Michael Van Gerwen's going to be on as well, MVG, as the Bahrain Darts Masters gets underway. Eze gets the ball forward for Crystal Palace to the edge of the Everton box. Hurried clearance by Everton, and Palace have it back with Nathaniel Klein out on the right-hand side, just inside the half, but the referee has seen a head injury for an Everton player. I think it's Tarkowski. And Nottingham Forest have the lead at Blackpool, live over on Talksport 2. Blackpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. I think it's Andrew Onabamidele on his debut for Nottingham Forest, having arrived from Norwich. What a great debut for the Irishman. Blackpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1 at Bloomfield Road. You can follow that game on Talksport 2 via the app. But here, little uncontested drop ball with Tarkowski OK to continue. Palace have worked the ball back into their own half, and Richards finds Joaquin Anderson, being closed on by Calvert-Lewin. Short pass to the England man Mark Gahey. Another one-time England man, Sam Johnston, 4 England caps to his name. Lovely floated pass to get Nathaniel Klein galloping into the Everton half of the field. Klein still has it, squares it across to the edge of the area to the other full-back Mitchell. Mitchell faced up by Patterson, went for goal, and it was a wild swing from the left peg of Tyreek Mitchell and went well wide of Joao Virginia's right-hand post at the Gladys Street end. 0-0.
Both teams are more comfortable playing on the counter-attack, aren't they? You know, turning over possession and then breaking forward quickly. Great run then from Nathaniel Klein, absolutely superb down that right-hand side.
It was Mills-esque, wasn't it, that run?
Well, not quite. He kept the ball for one, and then gave it to one of his own players. But when he gave it to Tyreek Mitchell, again, he just didn't quite have the confidence to really know what he was going to do, and in the end just slashed to the shot.
In fairness to you, Danny, you did say when you were on with Hawksby and Jacobs earlier that that's what both teams prefer. They do prefer to wait for the other team to give the ball and then counter-attack. Goal at the Mem in the FA Cup replay. Talksport Ian Abrahams.
Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 0. The West Country's gone mad. Anthony Evans has fired over the edge of the area on the volley, right-footed, past George Long from a corner, not properly clear. Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 0.
Yeah, Bristol City won last night on Talksport against West Ham. Rovers trying to repeat that particular dose and get through to face Liverpool in round 4. And our coverage of the FA Cup 4th round will get underway in about a week's time here. Loads of ties, including our exclusive of Newport County against Manchester United on a week on Sunday, with extra seats being installed at Rodney Parade for the arrival of Eric Ten Hag. You've also got Chelsea Villa, Tottenham Man City, Ipswich Maidstone, Fulham Newcastle, West Brom Wolves, the Black Country Derby on Sunday the 28th at 11:45. And of course the winners of this tie against Luton will be our offering on Saturday the 27th. That's our 3 o'clock game on Talksport 2 in the FA Cup 4th round. 0-0 here. Luton no closer to knowing who their opponents will be. Edouard picks the ball up offside. The flag goes up belatedly against Odsonne Edouard, and a free kick to Everton inside their own half. And this game still needs to catch fire here. We've had one decent effort on target from Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a neat touch, which was turned behind by Sam Johnston for a corner. And here is James Tarkowski up to halfway. Onana being pressurised by Jefferson Lerma, turns and goes back to his keeper João Virginia, whose only appearance this season was in that original tie. He was playing in the Dutch second division last season. João Virginia on loan. And Jordan Pickford settling for a night on the bench tonight. Here's Andre Gomez up to halfway. McNeil shields the ball, holds it up, and then Onana plays the ball out left for Mikalenko, just inside the Palace half. Everton attacking the park end away to our right in this first half on Talksport as we approach the midway point of the half. 0-0. Onana puts his foot on the ball at the edge of the centre circle. You can hear the cat calls around us wanting a bit more intensity. They find it as Andre Gomez finds Jack Harrison, right hand corner of the box, goes down right at the edge of the area, and the referee does nothing.
Oh my goodness.
No offence as far as Tony Harrington.
Oh my goodness.
Harrison can't believe it, but he's trying not to protest too much in case he gets a yellow card for dissent. 0-0.
He's not the only one that can't believe it. I don't know whether it's a penalty because it's very, very close to the line. It's a blatant trip from behind. I've no idea what the referee didn't see then.
Well, VAR is in operation. This is a Premier League stadium.
But he's not going to give it for a free kick, is he? No. Can't give VAR for a free kick, only if it's inside the box. Of course, you'd want a free kick there right on the edge of the box because you've got a chance of scoring either way.
Falls back with Sam Johnston, the Palace keeper, clips it up to the halfway, looking for Eze, comfortably headed back into the Palace half by Everton right back Patterson.
Do you know what I think that is, Dance?
Go on.
I think that's a case of, I know there's VAR, so I won't give it. And actually, if I have got it seriously wrong, then it'll be overturned and they'll tell me it was a penalty or whatever.
You should never referee a game that way.
No, but
you should never be made. Sorry, let me qualify that. You should never be made to referee a game that way.
No, you should have enough about you as the referee to make those decisions. But I think that's what's happening, and I think that's a perfect example.
Yep. It's 0-0 on Talksport midway through the first half here at Goodison Park. Everton with the throw. About 10 yards from the halfway line. Nathan Patterson looking to get it back into play, looking for an option. Andre Gomez comes short, lobs it over the halfway line, but can't find Harrison. Palace have it back. Mitchell, right down beneath us, has possession. Bang on halfway, tight to this near touchline. Trying to work it in field to Eze, one back by Tarkowski. Now Garner into the feet of Calvert-Lewin, shields it well. Gomez, early ball trying to release McNeil, who made a run through the inside right channel, but the ball skipped away from him and through to Johnston. 0-0.
So I think the referee's not giving it because he probably he's not sure if it's inside or outside, and he doesn't want to give a penalty if it's outside.
Thoughts of Danny Mills alongside me, Ian Dancer. Danny, former Manchester City, Middlesbrough, Charlton and England international. And a good afternoon to those of you listening across the United States of America to our commentary on Sirius XM FC. Thanks for your company.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, Dance. Could he give a foul and then go to VAR and say was it inside or outside?
Yeah, well, you could have done that.
Or does he have to give a decision first and then refer it?
Answers on a postcard. Do they still do postcards? Eze infield for Crystal Palace, but runs into traffic.
I think the FA still do postcards, to be fair.
Bit of satire for your Wednesday evening on Talksport from Danny Mills. Goal kick to Everton. Virginia plays it short to Jarrod Branthwaite, former Carlisle youth player who is, Danny and Adrian were talking about before kick-off, could be seen as a bit of an asset for Everton if it was to ease their financial woes. Andre Gomez rides a couple of challenges, loses out to Joachim Andersen. Hughes plays the ball up into the centre circle for Edouard, but a really heavy touch allows Garner to carry it forward for Everton. Down the right hand side of the box, and Harrison keep it in play. No, he runs out of room just before he can wrap his foot round it, and it's out of play for a Crystal Palace goal kick. 26 minutes gone on Talksport in the FA Cup. It's Everton 0, Palace 0.
Didn't quite get the angle that he wanted. James Garner running through, was just looking to poke it wide to Harrison, just played it a little bit too straight, and he knows immediately it was a really good opportunity for Everton breaking forward.
Johnston has two centre-halves inside the 18-yard box in case he wants to play a short goal kick, but he bids Anderson and Gahey away so he can smash it downfield right-footed. And it drifts out to the right-hand side. Up goes Schlupp, gets the flick on, but Mikalenko works it back into the Palace half. Richards lobs it back into the Everton half of the field. It drops on halfway. Gomez trying to release Calvert-Lewin. Again, it's all a bit scrappy, and as Danny Mills was saying, teams unable to keep possession for more than 4 and 5 passes. Back comes Lerma to dispossess Gomez. Drifts out to the right-hand side and then works it back to Chris Richards. Good turn from Joachim Andersen in his own half of the field, up to the halfway. Edouard will pick it up now on the halfway line. Rides the challenge of Garner. He's got Mitchell to his left, Eze to his right. Here's Eze at the edge of the area. Gets it onto his right. Good save, João Virginia. Firmly struck along the deck from Eberechi Eze, but João Virginia was equal to it. 0-0. Best chance of the game.
Good move. It was a tame shot in the end, though. I don't think he really got enough power. Side-footed it. If you're going to side-foot it, it has to be right in the corner. It has to kiss the post and go in. It was too close to the goalkeeper with a side foot. No real power, and it's trouble the keeper.
Richards for Crystal Palace at 0-0. If you're just tuning into Talksport on this Wednesday evening. And as you've heard, Bristol Rovers leading Norwich by a 1-0 at the Mem, and Nottingham Forest in our Talksport 2 commentary are 1-0 up at Blackpool through Andrew Onabamidele. Eze, who's just had that great chance for Palace, dispossessed. McNeil couldn't get much further down the field because Jefferson Lerma went in really strongly on him. Good tenacious work by the Palace number 8. Now Will Hughes, who when you give him time and space can easily find a defence splitting pass.
Let's just say so far there's been an awful lot of turnovers in this game.
Oh boy,
the ball has changed hands huge amounts.
Richards for Palace, out to Klein on the right-hand touchline, trying to turn the ball in field first time. It was easy for Jarrod Branthwaite to gobble up. Mikalenko goes back to his keeper. Edouard closes down the space, but Virginia clears well with his right foot. But it's one in the air by Gahey. And here come Palace again with Tyrick Mitchell as they attack the Gladys Street end. Flicks it down the left-hand side towards the byline for Jeffrey Schlupp. He gives it back to Mitchell, and he in turn works it back a little further for Gahey. Lerma and Hughes exchange passes before the ball sent back to halfway, and Joachim Andersen, lovely ball to find Nathaniel Klein, right hand side by the corner flag, tucks it inside McNeil, rolls it back to the right hand corner. Lerma, first time ball and Schlupp on the half volley, turns it just over the bar with the outside of his left foot. Another decent opportunity for the visitors as we approach the half hour. It's still Everton 0, Palace 0.
It's a really difficult opportunity that, though, as it comes into Schlupp. It's on the half volley outside of his left foot. Occasionally they'll fly into the top corner, but it's very, very difficult to control that ball.
Palace had 6 days off after the original tie 13 days ago. They only came back to training for Roy Hodgson last Friday. They're not showing too many signs of ring rust for not having played. They've got Arsenal on Saturday. That's our lunchtime offering on Talksport as part of game day at the Emirates Stadium. We're on there from 11 in the morning after the warm-up for that lunchtime game, the London Derby, whilst over on Talksport 2 at the same time, a very intriguing game. Southampton under Russell Martin have been quite superb, 20 games unbeaten, and they take that record down to Russell Martin's former club Swansea. That is the lunchtime kickoff on Talksport 2, followed by Norwich against West Brom. I'll be there for that one with Dean Ashton. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff Saturday afternoon, Talksport 2, whilst Adrian takes you around the grounds here on Talksport. Palace in possession at 0-0, half an hour gone. It's Jeffrey Schlupp who just injects a bit of pace into that attack. Goes down. Was he caught by James Garner? No, says the referee. Got to his feet quickly and tried to win the ball back. But Garner flicks the ball out to Mikalenko, the left back. Early ball looking for Calvert-Lewin. He heads the ball down well for Harrison in the centre circle. Now bursts forward. Jack Harrison, former Leeds man, up against Richards now, who drives him out to the left-hand side, forces him away from the penalty area, but he works the ball back, does Harrison, to James Garner. And now Mikalenko gives it back to James Garner. But the move now has lost its impetus for Everton, and they're back in their own half with Tarkowski. Patterson will give it back to the former Burnley man. Faced up by Eze. Into Calvert-Lewin's feet on the halfway line. McNeil's come over to this near side, but very quickly dispossessed. I think I've used the word dispossessed quite a lot in this opening half an hour, because Mitchell's won it back for Crystal Palace, Danny Mills.
This game would be brilliant for me, by the way. Giving it away, getting it back. I'd look fantastic.
I couldn't possibly comment.
Oh, you could.
Well, I could.
And you will.
No, but you sat next to me, so I've got to be careful. Ball's out of play for a Crystal Palace throw. 32 minutes played.
Just both teams in the final third, isn't it? It's lacking that little bit of composure, that little bit of creativity. Everton need to get James Garner a little bit further forward if they can. Gomez as well. Both of them can pick a pass.
Here's Calvert-Lewin from an offside position, collecting the ball on his chest, so Palace have a free kick. Calvin Phillips is a player that's been linked with Crystal Palace in the last couple of days.
I said earlier he's better than that, and that's not. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Crystal Palace.
Okay.
He's not going to benefit from coming playing this sort of football. He wants to. He's been at Manchester City where they play a certain style of football. He's been training every single day. Don't forget. He needs to go to a team that's going to play football and get him back into the England side.
Here's Eze coming forward for Palace, up to the edge of the D, into the area for Schlupp, who couldn't turn and get the shot away. Works it back to Hughes, gets the shot on target, but it's straight at Virginia, who can hold it with both hands. Another half chance goes Crystal Palace's way, but it's still 0-0.
Schlupp didn't want to hit it on his right foot, did he? It opened up for him that side, and then pirouetted to get back on his left foot. Then the chance was gone.
Almost given away by Everton just outside their own area, but Eze couldn't get a toe end to the ball. It was taken off him by Onana, but the ball's drifted out of play for a Palace throw, and you can hear the irritation of the Everton faithful around us, Danny Mills. They're sensing that this game is starting to slip away from them in terms of their domination.
Yeah, I think up till probably the last 2 or 3 minutes, Everton had controlled the majority of it.
Here's Anderson, forced to go back towards his own 18-yard box by Dwight McNeil. Feeds it back to Johnston, hoofs it first time downfield. Branthwaite and Edouard both seem to have a hold of one another, but referee says that's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, allows play to continue. Harrison tries to let Mikalenko free down the left-hand side, but Jeffrey Schlupp quickly onto it, and back it goes to Sam Johnson once again for a first-time clearance. Straight onto the head of Branthwaite, who'll have it back from Andre Gomez and finds Tarkowski on halfway. Onana just ahead of him, pressurised by Lerma. Branthwaite threads the ball through to Andre Gomez. A heavy touch from Harrison allowed Palace to win it back, but then given away by Lerma to Mikalenko for Everton. Up against his opposite number, Will Hughes has to go back infield to Amadou Onana. Onana is caught by Lerma, and that's a free kick. The referee didn't exactly indicate for the free kick, but he had blown the whistle, so Amadou Onana taken down by Lerma. Free kick. 0-0 here. 1-0 to Forest at Blackpool on Talksport 2. Let's check in at the Mem, see how Norwich have responded to going behind. Talksport, Ian Abrahams.
Slightly better. Still Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich still. The goal scorer actually was Luke McCormick. It was a lovely volley from the edge of the area. Just seen Gabriel Sara from distance with a shot tipped over the top of the bar by the Bristol Rovers goalkeeper. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 0.
Everton have a free kick just in front of the centre circle, attacking the park end in this first half on Talksport. 0-0 the score. 10 to half time. Andre Gomez, the man standing over the free kick, chips it to the right hand corner of the area, goes over the head of Tarkowski, and Patterson couldn't keep it in play at the dead ball line. That was overhit by Andre Gomez, I think it's fair to say. Goal kick Crystal Palace 0-0.
Second time he's done that. They're obviously looking for Tarkowski at the far post to rise and head it back across goal. just overhit both those free kick. Had one from this side, didn't he? Going in the opposite direction.
Everton have won their last 4 FA Cup replays here at Goodison. Their last home replay loss was 30 years ago against Bolton Wanderers. Here's Andre Gomez working the ball in field to Onana at the edge of the centre circle. Mikaleka moving up into the Palace half, gives it back to Onana. Diagonal ball seeking out Jack Harrison. He'll find him. Lovely ball. Harrison tries to cushion the ball back to Patterson, but that put him under pressure from Eze. He's managed to keep possession somehow, Nathan Patterson. And Tarkowski on halfway again tries to release a player down the Everton right. This time it's Garner who's made the run, but Gahey, marshalling the ball well, just lets it drift out of play for a Crystal Palace throw. Would Gahey be your first choice England centre-half alongside John Stones in the summer at the Euros, Danny Mills?
No, is the answer. I still think it's Harry Maguire if he's fit. And I look at this and I think, realistically, I think Branthwaite's better.
03717.
I'm looking at the ability to play. Branthwaite undoubtedly is much better on the ball, and especially from what I've seen this evening. And he can also defend. You know, and I know he's young, Branthwaite. I know this is his first season in the Premier League.
Yep.
But he's played 21s level. I'd be very, very tempted to take him as that third, fourth choice centre half.
He scored already in the Premier League this season against Chelsea last month. Jarrod Branthwaite.
The way that he plays, because he's played in Holland as well, he can play in a 3 as well.
Here's Patterson for Everton, finding Harrison. Back for Patterson down the right side of the area. It's overhit by Harrison. Too much club on it, and it skidded behind for a Palace goal kick. Harrison shows his frustration and apologises to Patterson for overhitting the pass. 37 gone, 0-0.
I know it's not always a measure of how good a player is, but teams like Real Madrid are being linked to Branthwaite. They're not being linked to Gahey. And there's a reason for that. You know, the big clubs be looking. If I look at Branthwaite, could he play in Manchester City side? Without a doubt. Could just throw him in there tomorrow and he would fit in, no problem. Gahey, I'm not so sure.
He's 21 years of age, Jarrod Branthwaite, and he's a regular for the England under-21s. Could he be a wild card for Gareth Southgate come next June and July? Of course, we'll bring you all the action of Euro 2024 across the Talksport network from Germany. Now, here's Andre Gomez finding James Garner. Lovely turn from Garner to get away from Lermont, and then he hits the ball straight at Will Hughes and then tenaciously wins it back. Andre Gomez now breaks down the Everton left. Early ball into the box, looking for Calvert-Lewin. Volleyed clear by Richards for Palace, but it will still drop for the blue shirts of Everton. Trying to pressurise here with 7 minutes to the break on Talksport. Tarkowski on halfway. Finds Harrison, lovely threaded pass, but taken off his toe by Will Hughes. Now Eze inside his own half, needs an option, just lays it off to Mitchell, and Mitchell under pressure from Harrison finds Eze once again. Still no Michael Olise for Crystal Palace, and they always look a better side when both Eze and Olise are in that creative hub behind the striker, who tonight is Alton Edouard, looking to win a header in the centre circle, but Tarkowski beats him to it. Calvert-Lewin goes up for a header, loses out, and good strength from Gahey, and he's released Jeffrey Schlupp down the right hand side up against Branthwaite, held up for a moment, plays the ball through the legs of Garner, looking for Eze with a pass at the edge of the area, but Eze was caught on his heels and Nathan Patterson could clear for Everton. Now Calvert-Lewin trying to head the ball down for Harrison, lost out, but then Andre Gomez seizes on the loose pass. Lerma chops him down 25 yards out. Free kick to Everton and a yellow card for the Colombian in the Crystal Palace midfield. 0-0.
Cynical tackle. Knows exactly what he's doing. Very limited chance of winning the ball. Jumps in from the side, from behind, and he realises once he's missed the ball, he just hooks his leg and makes sure that Andre Gomez comes down. There's not a huge amount of contact in it. It's not like he's hurt him.
No.
But he just hooks his leg once he's missed the ball and he makes sure he comes over. That's the sort of one they talk about a sin bin for. You know, that cynical one where he knows he can't win the ball, but I'll just bring him down anyhow.
Well, they've got a couple of options here, Everton, because the free kick is to the right of centre, so it does favour a left footer, you would say, although Andre Gomez is standing over it as well as Jack Harrison. One of those two is going to strike it. Meantime, the referees set up the wall about 2 or 3 yards inside the 18-yard box. It's a 4-man wall for Palace at the moment.
Hit it with pace, hit the target, and everybody follow in. Put the goalkeeper under pressure.
Johnson waits just in front of his goal line. Everton free kick late in this first half. Gomez right-footed over the wall and in! What a fantastic free kick to light up this cup tie from Andre Gomez. He was fouled for the free kick. He gets up, dusts himself down and curls in a beauty off the inside of the post to give Everton the lead. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Absolutely magnificent free kick. I think most foresaw that it might be Harrison with his left foot, but no, they went the other way. He goes over the wall, kisses the inside of the post. Goalkeeper absolutely no chance. And do you know what I like about it? He doesn't go for too much power. He makes sure he hits the target. That's the most important thing. If you get it over the wall and it's on target, the goalkeeper's always going to struggle, and that's exactly what happened. Great free kick.
And the player that fouled him, Jefferson Lerma, was the man in the wall that didn't jump, and that was where the ball went, over Lerma's head. Johnson had to scramble to his left but couldn't get there. The ball kissed the inside of the right-hand post as we look towards the park end and went in the side netting on the other side of the goal. So the man back from a loan at Lille last season, he wasn't in favour here, Andre Gomez, last campaign. He's got 1 goal already this season, that's his second, scored against Spurs, but he's the man that's finally broken the deadlock in this cup tie. As we approach half-time on Talksport, 1-0 to Everton. Palace in possession just inside the Everton half. Lerma works the ball in field for Eze. Eze driving for the edge of the area. Branthwaite slides in. Eze gets it back, trying to wriggle free. Finds Mitchell left-hand side. Brilliant save by João Virginia. Mitchell got a shot away from the left-hand corner of the 6-yard box. And Virginia threw up a right paw and turned it behind for Palace's first corner of the game. 1-0 to Everton.
You're most vulnerable when you've just scored. Brilliant save by Virginia, absolutely outstanding. He fires it towards that top corner and he just throws up his right hand, instinctive, and tips it over the crossbar. Brilliant save.
Corner at the Gladys Street end for Crystal Palace. Driven to the far post by Eze. Anderson heads it back across the face of goal. Out by Tarkowski, and then Anderson had a wild swing. And that's landed in the top tier of the Gladys end. That's how far over the bar it was.
It nearly hit the roof, to be honest.
It did, and that's an effort to hit the roof. Goal kick to Everton. We've got just over a minute of normal time to go.
I've cleared that before.
Have you?
Dan,
oh,
yeah.
You clever man.
Not really, just not very good.
No, that's like throwing a kettle over a pub.
That's not the idea when you shoot him to clear the stand.
No. 1-0 to Everton, so we are in the last minute of normal time.
Sean Dyche should just be thinking, look, just get to half-time now. Just hold on.
Of course.
Doesn't matter how. Get the ball down their end. Play this like it's the last minute of the game. Get it in the corners and just kill the game off for the next 2 or 3 minutes, and let's get him 1-0 up.
Forest 1-0 up at Blackpool on Talksport 2. Bristol Rovers 1 up against Norwich at the Mem. And here at Goodison Park on Talksport, it is Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0 in this all Premier League replay for the right to face Luton a week on Saturday. Live on Talksport 2. Calvert-Lewin, lovely skill on this near touchline, but Mitchell did take the ball off his toe. Gahey under pressure, dispossessed by Calvert-Lewin, right hand side of the box, tries to pull it across for Gomez, and Jefferson Lerma got a foot in and steered the ball back to his goalkeeper Johnson. 1-0 Everton, and we're into added time at the end of this first half, and there's 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time to add on.
That's your England centre half getting caught on the ball there.
All right, I'm just asking the question.
Pass back? I don't think so. I mean, in the laws of the game, it has to be an intentional back pass. It just hit him, didn't it, and sort of trickled back to the goalkeeper.
Yep.
You understand why the Everton fans were appealing.
Here's Schlupp, who's fouled his man. Dwight McNeil. So Everton get a free kick. We're into those 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time now on Talksport. Andre Gomez with a sweet free kick to put Everton in front. So
it was going to need something special to break the deadlock, wasn't it?
Palace have got to come out and play. They've got to come out and try and be a bit more inventive in this second half. Ball thumped downfield by Virginia, who's made that excellent save to keep Everton in front from Tyreek Mitchell. Everton keeping possession as they would want to inside the Palace half as we approach half-time. Gomez, the goal scorer, tight to that far touchline, up against Nathaniel Klein. Lovely quick feet from Andre Gomez, and now down the left-hand side of the box, Mikalenko pulls it into the near post, and Gahey clears from the 6-yard line. Back it goes to the halfway line, and Tarkowski will tidy up for Everton. Dummies his way past Odson Edouard, carries it forward. Little threaded pass forward for Dwight McNeil. He's dispossessed by Anderson. Maybe one last chance for Palace to affect things before half-time. Eze got a chance to run at the Everton back four here, up to the edge of the area. Eze goes for goal. It's blocked by Tarkowski. Comes out to Schlupp, right-hand side. Down the right-hand side is Nathaniel Klein. First-time cross, cleared away by Everton. And Gomez gives it straight to Richards. Richards finds Schlupp.
It's going to give it away. Got to give it away long. Stick it right over the top into the corner and let Calvert-Lewin have a run after it.
But the referee now blows his whistle as Palace have possession down the left-hand side. And Everton have finally broken the deadlock in this cup tie. And it took something really special to do it. A fantastic free kick late in the first half from Andre Gomez. He was brought down 25 yards out. And my, how he punished Crystal Palace for that foul by Jefferson Lerma. Brilliant free kick to separate these two sides at the break at Goodison Park. In the FA Cup replay, it's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Yeah, we'll get the thoughts of Danny Mills in just a moment as he reflects on that first half. But wow, that Andre Gomez free kick, beautiful, wonderful, unsavable, and Everton lead by a goal to nil. It's still 1-0 to Forest at Blackpool, live on Talksport 2, still playing in the first half. It is half-time though at the Memorial Stadium in the other third round replay tonight. Ian Abrahams.
And it's League One, Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich of the Championship 0. So at the moment it's the Gas who are heading to Anfield in the fourth round. Luke McCormick on 20 minutes giving them the lead. Anthony Evans' shot was brilliant from the edge of the penalty area, tipped behind by George Long for a corner. From the resulting corner, not properly cleared, and on the edge of the penalty area, left-footed, as sweetly struck as you could wish to see, a left-footed volley into the corner. Luke Thomas right on half-time nearly added a second. Norwich's best moments, a shot tipped over by Matt Cox from distance, and a long ball into the penalty area looking for Adam Eder. He should have volleyed it, tried to bring it under control, and the moment had gone. Norwich have been poor though, if the truth be told. It's half-time here at the Mem, and at the moment it's the Gas heading to Liverpool. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 0.
And a former Norwich man, Andrew Omobamidele, has scored the only goal as we reach half-time at Bloomfield Road. Live on Talksport 2, Blackpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. He was unmarked at a corner and volleyed home. That's the goal that separates the two teams. And straight after he scored, he held up a shirt of support for teammate Cheku Koyate, whose father passed away yesterday. All the Forest players wearing black armbands. Here at Goodison, it is Everton 1, Palace 0 at half-time. And let's take a look at the half-time highlights in partnership with Carling.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Well, I don't think Danny Mills has been a first half where I've shook my head so often at the ball being given away. At one point, I thought, has Jack Harrison in this window signed for Palace? Because he just kept passing to their players. He wasn't the only one, though.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. Like was said early on, didn't it? At max, 4 passes per team. Turnovers, huge amount of turnovers. I don't know, the stats guys are sat in front of us. They must be thinking, oh,
that's the club analysts are in front of us. Yeah,
another one. You know, back. It was just backwards and forwards. No one really wanted to keep the ball at times. But both teams had half chances. Palace had a couple, Everton had a couple, and then it was just a moment of genius. It was a fantastic strike. He did really well to win the free kick. You know, the ball was given away, surprise, and he drove into the box. The foul was given, definite foul, and he stepped up, and I just said, hit the target, and that's exactly what he did. He went over the wall. He didn't try and whip it as hard as possible. You often see players do that with free kicks or corners, where they go for so much pace, you've got no chance to get it down the other side. He goes over the wall, and because it's over the wall, the goalkeeper's always in trouble if it's on target. It kisses the inside of the post, and Sam Johnson has no chance, and Everton go 1-0 up.
Sam Johnston's standing to his right a little bit of centre of the goal. He kind of reluctantly almost goes over because he doesn't want to be caught on that right-hand side, having been standing there.
Do you know what, Aid? It was a great spot from Dance. Everybody in the wall jumped, apart from one, the man that gave away the free kick.
Lerma, yeah.
If I'm in that dressing room now, and I'm in charge of set pieces, I am going ballistic.
So what would the message be? That they all have to jump and he's the only one that hasn't?
Well, you all jump or you all don't jump.
Right.
Simple as that. You either all stand on your toes, chins on chest, and goes, well, if it hits you, tough. Or we're all jumping. But you can't do different things. There's a clear message. Maybe because he's given away the foul, maybe because he's got the yellow card, his head's not right in that moment. But the other lads in the wall should be going, we're jumping. We're right? Yeah, we're jumping. Yeah, we're all together, we're jumping. Communication, very, very simple. If he jumps, there's half a chance it nicks the top of his head and goes over. Again, football, simple. Do not follow a mistake with another mistake, and that's exactly what Lerma did.
Yeah, it was a great spot from Dance on commentary.
Great free kick, though.
It was a terrific free kick, and the fact that it's hit the inside of the post and gone in renders it, for me, unsavable. I think the other thing I wanted to talk about, the referee's had an interesting performance. I like the fact he kept his cards in his pocket early in the game. I don't want to see players booked too early, although there were some crunching challenges, but I want to see that. I want to see a physical game. That's what it's about.
Consistent,
yeah, which he was, I think.
Yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. The problem is what normally, and how many games have we seen where you think, well, he's let that one go, and then he gives a really soft one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as long as they're consistent and then the players know where they stand, that's absolutely fine.
But there was an interesting one where Jack Harrison was running square across the edge of the penalty area. I thought he was inside the box. It looked to me like he was clearly tripped up. And I wouldn't have understood why he'd have gone down there. I mean, there was no reason. He was in control of the ball, and it looked like he was tripped up, but the ref gave nothing. I made you absolutely right. What he should do is give a penalty, in my opinion, unless he's absolutely certain it's not a penalty, right? Give the penalty, and then VAR can overturn it. But this is where I've got a problem with VAR. I think it makes referees dither a bit, and they'd rather not do it. And then, if it is a penalty, VAR will give it. I think it's a nonsense.
What would be the problem if he gave a penalty that's outside the box?
Well, VAR would look at it and say it's outside the box, no penalty.
But he can't give a free kick then, can he?
No.
But he's already stopped the game.
Well, yeah, because
he's... I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he's given a penalty,
yeah, he's almost like he has
So does that create confusion for
the referee, I think?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I think he's not given it.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking, oh, it's probably a foul, but I'm not sure if it's inside or outside. Or what do I give? If I give a free kick and maybe he should give the free kick and then they can overturn it and make it a penalty. Can they do that?
These were problems they didn't realise would come with VAR, but they are coming with VAR.
They're quite obvious, really.
They are. Yeah.
It's going to happen. But I think the problem was, because he knows that VAR is here, he's relying on that to intervene if there's a massive error. It was a clear free kick. You know, we can all see it from here.
Or penalty.
It was it was a clear foul.
Yeah.
It was about to shoot. Whether it was inside or outside, we can't really see from here. But then that's what VAR is for. So the referee should, in my opinion, should be able to say, right, okay, it's a foul. Now, it could easily be a penalty. If it's not, have a free kick on the edge of the box.
Well, the flip side, ref doesn't give it, and then VAR has a look at it and thinks, yes, it's a penalty. But at the moment, there's too much of this, so we'll go with the on-field decision, which is a phrase that's come out of nowhere, come out of cricket, really, and somehow we're applying it to football. It's a mess, truly a mess. And I'll say it once more, they have to stop using these words, VAR's here to stay. I'm seeing journalists use it. I'm hearing the head of the refs use it as well. Take soundings, listen to the fans, like the FFP conversation, listen to the fans. Don't say it's here to stay, because you're just going to turn fans away. Fans do not want it. Try to listen to them and either improve it significantly or get rid of it. A moment of magic, Danny Mills called it, and I make him absolutely right. And Andre Gomez free kick just before half-time, and Everton leading this replay by a 1-0. That was thanks to Carling.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
So half-times in the FA Cup third round, Blackpool 0, Forest 1, live on Talksport 2. Bristol Rovers leading Norwich by a 1-0 on course for a fourth round tie at Liverpool. And here at Goodison live on Talksport, Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, second halves to come.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
300 years of expertise in every Twinings sleep blend. 100 hours of craft in every cup. 8 natural ingredients in every sip. 1 night of winding down in every drop. Your moment of serenity. Brought to you by Twinings Sleep. Twinings. Alive in every drop.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fitz Media is an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
Search Care Careers now for a job made with understanding, made with teamwork, made with care.
I can be yours, radiant and waiting for you to feel me in every room you so desire. I would love to spend time with you in a steamy, hot shower. And if you take good care of me, I'll stay as hot as the day we first met.
Feel the love with a high-efficiency heat pump from My Dear. Now available with a government grant of £7,500 and 10-year warranty. Terms of property suitability apply. Visit mydearuk.co.uk.
Make yourself at home, My Dear.
Kick off your Saturday with Game Day Breakfast on Talksport with Goals. The free football pull-out with the Sun. Lace up your boots for the nation's brightest sports breakfast with insider matchday news, big game previews and exclusive interviews from Tony Cascarino and Natalie Sawyer.
You better believe it!
Get fully loaded for football with Game Day Breakfast, Saturday morning from 6 on Talksport with Goals. The essential free football pull-out with the Sun every Saturday, Sunday and Monday.
The Vodafone Big Winter Sale is now on. And you can save big too, with huge savings of up to 50% on your airtime plan. Available with some of your favourite devices. So hurry, these amazing offers won't last long. The Big Winter Sale ends 30th of January. Vodafone.
Credit check, saving verification and terms apply. Vodafone.co.uk/terms.
At Kia, we're switching on the Kia Power On event, featuring the award-winning Kia EV6 with a range of up to 328 miles. Available now with 2.9% APR representative, £1,000 PCP finance deposit contribution, 2 years free servicing, and 1 year Kia Charge Plus when you order by the 29th of February. Search the Kia Power On event. Take the lead. Drive electric. Kia. Movement that inspires. T's and C's apply. Kia Finance. Free servicing offer available until 29th of February. Range based on test conditions and may vary.
With UK Export Finance, I'm fulfilling more export orders from around the world with working capital support.
Export insurance means I'll get paid when exporting to challenging markets.
At UK Export Finance, we believe no viable UK export should fail for lack of finance or insurance. Between 2022 and 2023, we provided £6.5 billion of government-backed trade finance to support UK exports. Learn how we could help you win export contracts, fulfil orders and get paid. Search UK Export Finance today.
The Emirates FA Cup live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Join the Football Collective. Kick-off FA Cup special on Talksport.
You're listening to Talksport, where we love the FA Cup and we love that goal that's given Everton the lead at half-time here. Listen, Talksport's got all you need, but if you fancy a bit of music, Virgin Radio is available on the Talksport app. When Chris Evans' excellent breakfast show on Virgin Radio Monday to Friday is done at 10. Check out Ryan Tubridy, his new show, 10 till 1 every weekday. It's got some great music and great guests as well. Andrea Core of The Cause, a live guest on the show last week. Terrific listen, that particular interview. I think they're pretty good mates as well. He really likes books as well, Ryan Tubridy, so he's all right with me. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
So Everton lead Palace 1-0 here at Goodison. Everton are 10-3 on to win after 90 minutes. Palace are 12-1 the draw after 90, 7-2 Over on Talksport 2, Blackpool 0, Forest won the Premier League side of 4-1 on to win in normal time. Blackpool are 14-1. The draw after 90 minutes is 19-5. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
And our next live football is on Friday night on Talksport 2, an exclusive from the Championship. Michael Beale's Sunderland taking on Hull City on a bad run, knocked out of the cup last night, and they've not won in the last 3 in the league as well. Liam Rossini's side, but they have signed Fabio Carvalho, who played well in defeat on Friday night on his debut for Hull City. Hugh Wozencroft, your host for that one, 7 o'clock on Talksport 2. And on Saturday, the Premier League is back. Arsenal taking on Crystal Palace, live and exclusive and only on Premier League. On Talksport from the Premier League, 12:30 kickoff, 11 o'clock. Our coverage gets underway with Reshmin Chowdhury. Same time, actually, on Talksport 2. Swansea Southampton sees Russell Martin with Southampton, who are flying at the moment, go back to his old club to face his old assistant manager. Luke Williams is now the manager of Swansea, so that's going to be a big one. That to break the record unbeaten run for Southampton. Faker Others, your host for that. I'll take you round the grounds on Talksport. The centre is Stoke. Don't know what I've done wrong. Same time on Talksport 2, Norwich take on West Brom. It's not on telly. Ian Danter will be your commentator for that one, as well as the former Norwich and England striker Dean Ashton. On Sunday as well, Leeds Preston at midday, live and exclusive on Talksport 2 with Mark Wilson and Adrian Clark. And Sunday session with Faye Carruthers will take you around the grounds, bring you all of the football, all of the sport on Sunday afternoon. That's from 1:30 on Talksport. And we've got Women's Super League as well. Man City Liverpool's live on Talksport 2 on Sunday afternoon from 2:30. And Monday night, game night is back for a Premier League offering. Brighton taking on Wolves. I'll be at the Amex for that with Sam Ataface and Danny Murphy on Monday night duty. And what a game on Talksport 2 at the same time. Leicester taking on Ipswich. Top 2 go head to head. Hugh Wozencroft, your host, for a massive game from the King Power Stadium. Listen to kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. And don't forget, the games are played to a finish tonight, whether that means extra time and maybe even penalties. You will get the third round completed tonight. Right now on Talksport 2. Second half about to get underway on Bloomfield Road as League One Blackpool trail at home to Nottingham Forest of the Premier League by 1-0. Nobody in League One scored more home goals than Blackpool. Can they turn that around in the second 45? That's live on Talksport 2. Download the Talksport app for free. Won't take long. It's easy to use. Swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2 or tell your smart speaker to play Talksport 2. But the teams are out here at Goodison for the second half. Everton lead Palace by a terrific goal to 0. Here's Danny Mills and Ian Danter.
Thank you, Adrian. Stokeist. Anti-Stoke. He'll love going back to the Bet365. I went there the other week to watch Stoke Brighton in the third round. Brighton won that in the end.
Just to watch them?
Well, I was commentating.
Oh, right,
well,
okay.
In fairness.
So you don't love it that much?
Oh, well, no, it was nice to see the fog lift, because when we got there, it was a tad foggy in Staffordshire. But it did lift. It's a cold, crisp night here on Merseyside, but the undersoil heating making sure that this game is under no threat from the weather. Crystal Palace find themselves a goal behind. They're attacking the park end to our right, wearing their chain strip of white shirts with a sky blue sash, sky blue shorts and slightly darker blue socks. Everton in their traditional first choice colours of blue shirts, white shorts and socks. They're attacking from right to left as we look towards the Gladys Street end that they always love to attack in the second half of games. Myself and Danny and Adrian and our producer Sal sat midway back just above the director's box here in the main stand at Goodison Park. Crystal Palace beat Everton 4-0 a couple of years ago in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Gahey, Mateta and Hughes all scored that day. They're all in the squad tonight. Wolf Zaha also scored. Of course, now departed for other climes. Twice FA Cup runners-up in 1990 and 2016. Everton 5 times winners, but that was the last trophy they won. Paul Rideout and all that back in 1995 against Manchester United. Now Palace have possession. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute. There's been no changes at the change around. Nathaniel Klein loses his footing as he tried to keep the ball in play on this near side. Everton have Virginia in goal, Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikolenko in the back four, Garner and Onana holding in midfield, Harrison, Gomez, the goal scorer, and McNeil behind Calvert-Lewin. For Palace, Johnston the keeper, Klein, Anderson, Gahey and Mitchell, with Richards joining in at the back at times, Lerma, Schlupp, Eze and Hughes in behind Edouard. And it's Jack Harrison giving chase for Everton down the right-hand side. Looked like he just nudged into Tyreek Mitchell, but in fact the referees let play go on, and then he's punished Tyreek Mitchell for holding on to the shirt of Jack Harrison, and Everton get a free kick early in the second half, and they lead 1-0 here.
Yeah, both players just misjudged the first couple of bounces, sort of went underneath the ball, then Jack Harrison got hold of it, and Tyreek Mitchell has just pulled his arm back.
It may well be game over at Bloomfield Road, incidentally, live on Talksport 2. Nottingham Forest have a second at Blackpool. Danilo following up Andrew Onabamidele's opener in the first half. Free kick to Everton then, almost at the midway point of the Palace half, but out to the right-hand side. Andre Gomez, who scored that wicked free kick late in the first half to put Everton in front. He's directing operations again. Palace holding their line just ahead of the 18-yard box. In it comes from Gomez. Lovely delivery. McNeil tries to steer it back across the facing goal at the far post, but Palace get it back out. Only as far as Patterson lobs the ball into the area, but Palace deal with it, and then there was a push on Eberechi Eze by James Garner, and the Eagles have a free kick, 0-0.
Oh, he's just
1-0 rather.
He's just booked Jack Harrison. He chested it down, and he didn't kick the ball away. He sort of like almost just let it hit his foot, and it went towards goal. Wasn't dissent. It's not slowed the game down in any way, shape or form. The referee pulls a card out.
And he's not pulled cards out, Tony Harrington, for some fairly agricultural challenges in the first half.
Sometimes referee... Oh no, sorry, I was going to say something stupid. Referee, use your common sense. Have a word with yourself, Danny.
Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0 on Talksport in the FA Cup replay. So, as I just mentioned, over on Talksport 2, Forest 2-0 up at Blackpool, and Bristol Rovers still 1-0 up against Norwich. We'll check in with Ian Abrahams in just a moment, see how that second half has gotten away at the Mem. Bristol looking to make it an FA Cup shock double after Bristol City beat West Ham United yesterday evening on Talksport. Throw to Everton, taken by Patterson, gets it back from Harrison down that far side of the field, hugging the touchline, fired it infield, but it was well away from Calvert-Lewin. But Will Hughes forced to put the ball out of play for a throw to Everton, pretty much level with the edge of the Palace penalty area. Patterson again, the man getting the ball back into play. Gomez shields the ball well down by the dead ball line, can't play the ball into the box. It's half clear, but one back by Onana. Now Harrison, 10 yards from the dead ball line, whips in a left-footed ball. Richards heads it up in the air. Anderson gets there just ahead of Calvert-Lewin. Onana guides it down to the left-hand corner of the penalty area, and Dwight McNeil for Everton. He runs in field, finds Gomez, and what was Gomez looking to hit there? I have no idea.
You can't see the post in the way. James Garner's down injured, that's why. He's kicked it out of play for treatment.
I thought that was the worst pass in human history, but you're right.
It did look it, but you can't see for the post.
I don't want to harp on about this because listeners back at home may not care a jot, but there is a rather large metallic post that obscures a bit of the Crystal Palace penalty
put it on your
area.
X feed and see if you get any sympathy.
Oh, it's not going to happen. Sympathy on social media? Give over.
Today's attendance, 37,000.
Well, 37,000 is the attendance just read out here at Goodison Park.
Your continued support here at Goodison Park.
The support is definitely there for the club, no matter what the club goes through, and we know that the club has been going through a lot.
It'd be interesting. It doesn't look like they're going to give it back.
Well, Crystal Palace are not going to give it back. They just want to get the ball back into play.
No, a couple of the senior players have just said no, give it back to them.
Nathaniel Klein,
right thing,
gives it to Jeffrey Schlupp, and Schlupp will just knock it back into the Everton half of the field.
Although if that had been me, I'd have given it back, but I'd have booted it out in the corner for a throw-in, and then taken the boos from the crowd.
This is such a nice man.
Professionalism. It's about winning the game.
Branthwaite, long ball over the top for Everton, trying to get McNeil in behind Klein. He very nearly did get behind, but the ball just held up on the turf, and then Klein gets a foot in to keep it away from Mikalenko. Anderson chops it up towards halfway. Alton Edouard shoved into the back of Branthwaite, and that's a free kick to Everton just inside the Palace half. 1-0 to the Toffees. 6 gone in the second half on Talksport.
Fabulous ball from Branthwaite. Can play with either foot as well. That was a left-footed ball down the line. It was absolutely superb. And then when it comes back out, he's clever enough to know that Edouard's behind him, feels the little nudge, goes down and wins the foul.
So it's a free kick for Everton just inside the Palace half. Andre Gomez raises his right arm. Palace at least 25 yards out, holding their line. Diagonal ball now up to the edge of the area. Branthwaite knocks it down, but hooked away by Edouard. And Palace try and counter-attack, but that's a good foot in by James Garner. And McNeil will retrieve possession for Everton down this near side of the left. Lovely ball into the area. Cleared away by Mitchell, keeping it away from Harrison, who is just behind him. And then Mitchell puts his foot through it, but it doesn't reach halfway. Tarkowski has possession for Everton. Harrison, under pressure from Hughes and Mitchell, gets the ball back to Tarkowski, who was caught late by Edouard. Free kick spotted by Tony Harrington, that offence. And so, again, Everton have the chance to work the ball forward with a set piece. 1-0 they lead.
Edouard's complaining. Not quite sure why. He lunges in for the ball, he misses it, he catches Tarkowski late. Simple free kick.
To be taken by Andre Gomez once again. And once more, Palace are holding quite a high line for this free kick. And it's played square to the edge of the centre circle for James Garner. He now drills the ball up to the edge of the box. Richards might have had a bit of Jared Branthwaite's shirt, but he gets the ball clear. Gomez tries to recycle it out to the right-hand side for Everton, but can only find Tyreek Mitchell. Garner chests the ball down neatly and works the ball back to halfway, appreciated by the Everton faithful. Now McNeil on the halfway line finds Onana, but Palace are pressing a little higher up the pitch, and now Hughes trying to put Onana under pressure. Ball clipped downfield by Mikalenko, looking ostensibly for Calvert-Lewin, but it was given away, and Palace have it back with Jeffrey Schlupp down their right-hand side, the near side to us, with Palace attacking the park end to our right in this second half. Anderson spots Mitchell in acres of space on the far side. Mitchell chests it down and finds Eberechi Eze. Spins away for a moment and then lays it off to Jefferson Lerma. Now Mitchell goes back to Mark Gahey. Lerma just keeps the ball away from Calvert-Lewin. Anderson on the centre spot. Fires the ball out to this near side. Can Klein keep it in? He can. Tries to dig the cross out. It's right under the crossbar and almost went in at the far post. And Virginia had to fire it clear. We have another goal at the men in the FA Cup. Talksport Ian Abrahams.
Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 1. The equaliser pretty much out of nothing, scored by Gabriel Sara. Beautiful effort on the edge of the penalty area from Sam McCullum, curling one into the top corner, hit the bar though, bounced on the line and Sara tapped in. Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 1.
That one, as it stands, then heading for extra time and potentially penalties for the right to face Liverpool in round 4 here at Goodison Park on Talksport. Nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half. Danny Mills and Ian Dancer with you. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. Palace in possession with Eze, receiving the ball from Hughes. Place it to the left-hand side of the area. Mitchell working it across the face of goal, but Branthwaite calmly clears it away. But it will only find Mark Gahey first to it for Crystal Palace inside the Everton half. Now Lerma finds Edouard, lays it off to Will Hughes. Schlupp will then turn it back to Chris Richards just ahead of the halfway line. Lerma gets his head up, spots the run of Mitchell down the left-hand side, but it was straight down the throat of Nathan Patterson, that attended through ball. And now Jack Harrison keeps the ball tight to the far touchline inside his own half, pressurised by Mitchell. Hits the ball against the Palace player, but it doesn't go out. He wanted a throw, but it wouldn't go out of play, and Palace have it back with Eze. Oh, he nutmegs his man and moves infield. Eze up to the edge of the area. Edouard tries to sort his feet out. Half cleared by Everton. Lerma gets in there with Andre Gomez. Gomez loses out to Will Hughes. Will Hughes finds Gahey. They're working hard to keep possession, Crystal Palace. Eze again will give the ball back to Tyreek Mitchell. And now Will Hughes. Eze again. Early ball into the box, but that's overhit. It was nowhere near the run that odds-on Edouard was even thinking of making. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0.
You probably have to say there's a little bit of a problem in terms of creativity, isn't there, for both teams? You know, in the final third, that's where they're both really struggling.
Ball over the top, almost got Calvert-Lewin in behind Anderson, but the defender just hooked his foot round the ball at the corner of his own penalty area. And then Onana slides in to deny Chris Richards the chance to get the ball downfield, but in sliding in, he just diverted it out for a Palace goal kick. You're listening to Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0 in the FA Cup on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. And a whole host of live fourth round ties to come for you once we get to the end of next week, with the pick of the bunch being Newport against Manchester United. That's our exclusive commentary on Sunday afternoon, a week on Sunday from Rodney Parade. Ball thumped downfield from the goal kick for Palace by Sam Johnson, but it breaks on halfway for James Tarkowski. Now the goal scorer Gomez loses out to Jeffrey Schlupp. Back it goes though to Jean Virginia. Those FA Cup ties start on Friday night. We've got a choice of listening for you across the network with Chelsea Villa on Talksport and Tottenham Manchester City on Talksport 2. Sorry, that's the other way around. Chelsea Villa's on Talksport 2, Tottenham Man City on Talksport. And then Ipswich against Maidstone is the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday from Portman Road. That's the reward for the National League South's brilliant performance in round 3. In all, we've got 9 commentary matches for you from the FA Cup across the network. Everton going through at the moment to be one of those teams in our commentary matches. Luton await in the next round. But Palace coming forward, they're a goal down, 57 minutes gone. Gahey looking for an option, holds his hands out as if to say, give me an option to his teammates. He didn't feel he was getting an option. Now Richards, heavy touch from him on halfway, but he manages to keep the ball away from Dwight McNeil. Klein wants of Liverpool, sends the ball forward, but a comfortable header clear from Tarkowski. Now Branthwaite looking to put Schlupp under pressure, and he did well again, the youngster. It's fired downfield by Tarkowski, nodded in field by Calvert-Lewin superbly to Harrison, who's released Andre Gomez, who's the furthest player forward for Everton. And as it took his first touch midway inside the Palace half, Joaquin Anderson came back and took it off his toe. 1-0 Everton.
I think he knew, didn't he, that he wasn't going to outpace Anderson and Gahey in that situation. Still with probably 35, 40 yards to go.
Penalty at the Mem, Ian Abrahams.
Norwich have the penalty. Jonathan Rowe was pulled down inside the penalty area. Adam Eder's put the ball on the spot. There seemed to be some debate about who was going to take it, but Eder in the end has put it on the spot, and now in front of the new stand, 800 Norwich fans here tonight. He's being booed by everyone else. Eder back to the edge of the penalty area, takes a run up, hits it right footed, and it's saved. No, it's not. The keeper palmed it into the net. Oh, Matt Cox has his head in his hands. He saved it, and yet it's still squirmed in. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 2.
So he didn't save it then?
Well, he did save it. I know what you'd look. Commentator's curse.
It went in.
It's never. All right. You have a go.
Technically, well, I think I might have got that one right.
Danny Mills alongside me, Ian Danter here at Goodison Park, where we approach the hour mark. And Everton have a free kick.
He didn't save it. Norwich 2-1 up.
Indeed, Norwich are in front, Adam Eder. So Norwich set to face Liverpool in round 4 as things stand. And over on Talksport 2, Nottingham Forest 2 goals to the good at League One Blackpool.
They were concerned, weren't they, that game about obviously the weather, whether Sam Matavez was going to have to step in at half time.
Really?
Bit of dancing on ice.
Oh, I see.
On,
that's completely missed that.
Well, no surprise there.
Thank you. Free kick to Everton, fired downfield by Virginia, left-footed, looking for Calvert-Lewin, who chests the ball down for McNeil, goes for goal from the left-hand corner of the box. It was a firm hit, but it was a comfortable save for Sam Johnston. 1-0 Everton.
It's one of those where it's a speculative effort just outside the box. He catches it almost too well and hits it straight at the goalkeeper.
Incidentally, Norwich are in Championship action on Saturday, live on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock. West Brom are the visitors to Carrow Road. I'll be there with Dean Ashton whilst Adrian takes you around the grounds on Talksport. Mitchell coming forward with a cross into the Palace box. It goes away from Schlupp, but it's picked up by Nathaniel Klein. Lays it back to the edge of the area, and Jefferson Lerma again has found row Z in the park stand away to our right-hand side, and Everton have a goal kick. 1-0, they still lead, Everton.
High, wide and ugly, that was. Mikalenko's done well, actually. There's been a couple of half chances just while we were listening to the penalty for Norwich. Edouard was played through, and he just stepped in front of him and just checked his run and blocked him, and the ball ran through to Joao Virginia. Good play, and Mikalenko just did the same thing there again. Just got in front of his man, didn't have to make the tackle, but just stopped his run.
Young Brazilian Mateus França going to be coming on shortly for Crystal Palace. And Blackpool have a goal back in the Talksport 2 commentary against Nottingham Forest. Blackpool 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Albie Morgan gets the Seasiders back in it.
And it's an absolute belter.
A belter. Oh yes, I've just seen it. Wow. Great hit from Albie Morgan. And Adrian was saying at half-time, you know, Blackpool get goals at home in League One. Another one, and they'll force extra time. Don't forget, Adrian's here every Saturday afternoon with Game Day Live, taking you around the grounds. And I guarantee you, if you listen to that show, you will learn 3 or 4 things about the game of football that you will have not have known before kick-off. Guaranteed. Cast iron.
Any chance you listening to it then?
I'm a little busy at the same time over on Talksport 2.
Oh, sorry, that's why. I was just thinking, if you learnt...
I see what you mean now. You're being sarcastic again.
If you learnt 3 or 4 things every week, I'm just thinking of the knowledge, but clearly you're busy.
Got me hands full with Perry Groves usually on Talksport 2. Be fair.
Triple substitution coming.
Yeah, not just França, but also Nawiru Ahamada and Jairo Riedewald, who's been at Palace for such a long time, Riedewald, but has had so few appearances. I'm not sure whether he was brought in by Frank de Boer actually when he was at the club. But the 3 players coming off are Tyreek Mitchell. He's coming off, so Riedewald, França and Ahamada are the players coming on. Ahamada joined from Stuttgart in January, hasn't scored yet for Crystal Palace. He's a central midfielder. Riedewald also a midfielder. 90 appearances in 6.5 years for Jairo Riedewald, former Ajax youth. And França, who got, 60-odd minutes in the first tie. He is coming on as well.
You know, they talk about speeding the game up and time wasted.
Yeah.
The 4th official with the board has basically waited to both players on the far side have left the pitch before he's put the board up again. It's like, come on.
Protocols, isn't it? Eze is the player coming off as well for França. So Klein, Mitchell and Eze off. Ahamada, França and Riedewald on for Crystal Palace as they chase the game here. They're a goal down. We've played nearly 65
almost
minutes.
Says, let's not worry about it, let's concentrate on the league. It's not the most attacking change in the world, are they?
No, Mateta is still on the bench as a potential striking option for Roy Hodgson and Dean Lewington as they've made that triple change at 1-0 down. Everton have a throw on the far side of the field, just looking to see where everybody's moving to in terms of their position. We'll see how that settles down once Palace have the ball back. But Everton have a throw. Midway point of the Palace half, right-hand side, taken by Patterson. Onana tries to slide it down the right wing, but it goes out of play, and it will be a Crystal Palace throw away to our left-hand side. 25 minutes to go. Everton closing in on a 4th round tie here at home to Luton Town at Goodison Park a week on Saturday.
I know Roy Hodgson is cautious by nature, but you're thinking you're 1-0 down in a cup match, 25 minutes to go away from home. Just throw caution to the wind, surely. You might as well lose 2-0 as to lose 1-0 and go out with a whimper.
And Crystal Palace fans saying you don't know what you're doing, booing Roy Hodgson for taking off Eberechi Eze in particular. Now here's James Garner going to go for goal from fully 40 yards out, smacked into the thigh of Will Hughes. Palace fans might want to get into that with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on the sports bar after we're done tonight, because Eze is without question a Palace fan favourite.
Well, Mourinho's available now, don't forget.
Oh, please, no. Gomez up to the right-hand corner of the box, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Ball's given away by Palace. Harrison now slides it down the right-hand side of the box for Nathan Patterson. Couldn't get the cross in. It was cleared by Gahey onto what the Everton fans thought was the hand of Jairo Riedewald, but nothing doing, says the referee. Maybe VAR will take a look at that.
We're a long way away from it, but it was smashed at him from about 6 yards away.
Now Gahey hooks the ball back over his head towards the midway point of his own half. França knocks it down for Riedewald. Now França trying to play the ball through the legs of Andre Gomez. Riedewald definitely playing out on the left-hand side.
As the wing-back, isn't it?
As the wing-back, the left wing-back. França and Hamada have come on as well, and Hamada charging down the right-hand side for Palace. Ball into the box. Edouard can turn and shoot, and brilliantly saved by the feet of João Virginia. And then a foul on Patterson by França as he tried to clear with his head, Patterson. But what a chance for Odson Edouard, spinning around the penalty spot with his back to goal, but his left-footed shot was well saved by João Virginia. 1-0, Everton still lead.
Great save from Virginia yet again. Now, we did ask one or two questions, at the start of the game. Why not Jordan Pickford? And I think obviously Sean Dyche has been loyal to him. He played in the first game and he's made 4 or 5 fantastic saves in this game.
Yeah, he made one terrific save from Tyreek Mitchell in particular in the first half, and he's made another good one there with his feet to deny Odson Edouard just now. So we're into the final quarter of this cup tie.
Patterson's down on the far side, isn't he? Head injury.
Yeah, because he got caught by França as he tried to clear.
What I don't understand is he goes down, he gets caught with an elbow, the referee blows his whistle for a foul immediately, but then the referee runs over to him, clearly to ask him if he wants treatment. It's a head injury. Surely just get them on straight away.
But he's asking in case the player wants to get up.
Yeah, but if it's head, that should be irrelevant. The referee should have the ability to say, you know what, I think it's head injury. I'm calling the trainer on
because he's got to have the 30 second.
And then he doesn't have to go off for the 30 seconds.
I see. Okay.
Because I'm talking. This is about protecting players.
Yeah.
That could have been another 10, 15 seconds. You need treatment on immediately. Swallowing tongues and all sorts can happen in that time. It shouldn't be up to the referee to ask a player, because if he's concussed, what's he going to say anyhow?
It's a right old chat going on between the 3 men with Everton: Steve Stone, Ian Wone and Sean Dyche at the edge of the technical area, maybe discussing a change or two that Everton might want to make. Palace have made a triple switch. One of those subs, França, out on the left-hand side, wins a throw. So Hamada playing on the right-hand side where Klein was playing, Riedewald playing where Mitchell was playing. And here's Edouard finding Schlupp, edge of the area, almost flicked it through to Hamada. Lerma tries to win the ball at the edge of the D, but good strength from Onana. And then cleared away for Everton up to the halfway line, over the head of Calvert-Lewin, who was never going to win that, sailed over his head. And Palace have it back. Schlupp back to the halfway line, and Anderson. Hamada calling for it on this near side, but Anderson's put too much on that crossfield ball and it goes straight out of play.
Another sub for Palace, Dance, coming on. I can't quite see who's getting ready down there. It looked like they called back Ben Godfrey, from Everton's perspective.
Okay. Well, he's a defensive option. We'll find out in a minute.
Or is it Beto?
Well, Beto.
Well, maybe both of them getting stripped.
Maybe so. That's what the conversation was clearly about between the Everton management team. Meanwhile, their number 9, Calvert-Lewin, away down the left-hand side, attacking the Gladys Street end in this second half. Everton, they're a goal up with 20 minutes to go on Talksport in this FA Cup third round replay for the right to host Luton in round 4 a week on Saturday, which will be live on Talksport 2. Here is Calvert-Lewin, onside down the left-hand side of the box. Richards going with him. The ball's hit against Richards. Everton have a corner, and then, and only then, does the offside flag go up against Calvert-Lewin, and it's Jean-Philippe Mateta that's coming on. And I'm assuming if Roy Hodgson's truly going for this, he'll be brought on to play alongside Odson Edouard and not instead of. Let's see. Fourth official holds up the board.
It's strange to make a triple substitution then, 2 or 3 minutes later.
Well, it is Edouard that's coming off, so that's me told. One striker off, one striker on.
But it's strange to make a triple substitution, then in another 3 or 4 minutes make another single substitution. You might as well just surely put all 4 on at once.
And David Ozzo's coming on as well, 18 years of age, an academy graduate midfielder, made 7 senior appearances, came on as a sub in the original tie at Selhurst Park, and he's coming on for Jefferson Lerma.
Number 8, Jefferson Lerma, to be replaced.
So he's had better nights, hasn't he, Jefferson Lerma? Gave away the free kick that led to the goal. The man that didn't jump in the wall, and almost cleared the stands a couple of times with a couple of shots.
So Ozzo is on. So Eze went off, Ozzo is on now. And the ball's back with Sam Johnston. So Crystal Palace have made their 5 changes. Nothing more that Roy Hodgson can do at this point, but hope that his team can get back into this tie and try and at least force extra time. But Everton, as it stands, are 18 minutes or so away from round 4.
Just looks like Everton have stalled with their substitutions just to see how Crystal Palace shape up.
Well, Mateta at the point of the attack, of course, and he's closing down Virginia, so he passes out to the right hand side of the area, and Tarkowski, that's well controlled by Nathan Patson, but then he's given possession up to Riedewald. Riedewald finds Anderson, forward to Mateta. Oh, good step forward from Jared Branthwaite to win it back for Everton. And now Harrison scampers away down the Everton right. McNeil and Calvert-Lewin ahead of him. And then Harrison just runs into the challenge of Ozzo, and it just ricochets through to the grateful arms of Sam Johnston. 1-0 Everton, 18 to go.
Need to play it a fraction earlier with his right foot, but he's so left-footed. Jack Harrison wanted to play it at the outside of his foot and just had to wait half a second longer for the ball to run across him.
18 minutes to go, 1-0 to Everton. Very good afternoon to those of you listening across the pond on Sirius XM FC in the United States. Sure you'll be interested in the progress of Chris Richards, who's been playing as a really an auxiliary centre half for Palace this evening, as well as a midfielder. He's just cleared the ball downfield. Mateta trying to roll Branthwaite on halfway, but Branthwaite too cute for that. Just hooks it back to his goalkeeper Virginia.
I don't want to put the mockers on him, but Branthwaite I think has played exceptionally well this evening.
He's just received the ball now, left-hand corner of his own penalty area, and just clips it out to this left-hand side. It's straight out of play. It's a throw-in to Crystal Palace.
If that's the worst I've done to him, he'll take that, trust me.
Taken quickly by Ahamada, who's looking to scamper away down this near side, but he's run out of room. It's very tight to the near touchline. There were 7 minutes between those Crystal Palace substitutions, the 3 and then the 2 from Roy Hodgson. Everton still to make a change, but still deep in conversation, Steve Stoney and Wone and Sean Dyche, about what they might want to do.
Lewis Dobbin, I think that's...
May well be. Of course, your boy's on the books here.
Yeah, well, not for a while now, unfortunately.
Well, yes, Stanley, for those that don't know, has been on loan at Oxford United, but picked up a serious knee injury, and he's on the road back to recovery, and we wish him well.
Yeah, I mean, and I have to say as well, Everton have been absolutely magnificent. Obviously got injured the last minute of the FA Cup against Coventry, stretched it off, had an operation on Tuesday. Obviously that means his parent club comes straight back here, but they've been really, really good.
The holistic care and all that.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, Sean Dyche rang him, straight away. To be fair, Liam Manning also phoned him as well. And the club to look after a young player and give him lots of assurances and proper treatment and look after him, they've been really, really good.
Mateta for Crystal Palace, a goal down. He's got the ball 30 yards out, tried to thread the ball through the eye of a needle for Will Hughes inside the box. Somewhat hurried clearance from Everton, and Palace have it back on this near side of the right with Ahamada taking on McNeil, then just checks his run for a moment and works it back to Will Hughes. Back to halfway it goes, and Richards for Anderson. Applause from around us as Palace are forced back to their goalkeeper. 15 minutes to go on Talksport. Norwich going through. In fact, let's check in at the Mem as Norwich are taking control of that replay at Bristol Rovers. Ian Abrahams.
Still Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 2, but George Long, the Norwich keepers, had to save twice. Once from Aaron Collins, and crucially from 6 yards out from Chris Martin against his former club. This isn't done yet. Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 2.
And it is indeed going to be Lewis Dobbin going to come on for Everton sooner rather than later. Just get some final instructions.
I just wonder if he might throw him on for Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Managing his minutes, perhaps. I mean, normally he's a wide player, a winger.
Mm-hmm. Onana looking for Calvert-Lewin. Lovely first touch, he's got it right hand corner of the area, fires it across the face of goal and just wide from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Palace goal kick. Still Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0 on Talksport, and the change is going to see Andre Gomez, the goal scorer, withdrawn, and he gets a standing ovation. Everyone on their feet applauding the quality of the strike that separates these two sides in this cup tie from Andre Gomez. And Dobbin, another academy graduate on the field, 21 years of age, went to Derby on loan last year and made over 50 appearances for the Rams in that League One season. So he's on for these last 13 and a half minutes or so on Talksport. 1-0 to Everton.
Yeah, he's going to play in the number 10 role, if you like, almost, if you imagine an old-fashioned 4-4-2. He'll be the second striker. He's got plenty of pace. He'll run off Calvert-Lewin all day long.
So's Branthwaite, who kept pace well with Mateta there as the ball was sent down the Palace left, but the clearance is picked up by França. Leaves it for Riedewald. Now França, the young Brazilian again, tries to whip in across from by the corner flag. Goes out of play in front of those Palace fans in the lower paddock of the Bullens Road stand, trying to encourage their team forward to get an equaliser here. Time is running out for Crystal Palace. 13 minutes to go. Everton still a goal to the good, but only one goal to the good. Richards inside his own half of Palace, midway point of it, looking for an option. Mateta is an obvious aerial target, but he goes out left to Gahey. Gahey just caught Jack Harrison, had a little nibble at him as he turned away and went back towards his own penalty area. So Palace have a free kick taken quickly by Gahey. Richards finds Anderson, and Anderson brings the ball up towards the halfway line and plays the ball back into the square for the American Richards. Hughes, former Watford and Derby man, out to the left hand side, and Gahey. França tried to let the ball run across his body and then turn, couldn't do that. Everton try and bring it clear. Will Hughes sticks his foot in, but it breaks for Onana in the centre circle, releasing Dwight McNeil into the area left hand side, across the face of goal and turned behind by Anderson for an Everton corner at the Gladys Street end. 1-0 Everton.
If he'd have played it a fraction earlier, Lewis Dobbin was in the centre of the goal unmarked. He just delayed it by a fraction, and that allowed the defenders to get back and clear it for the corner. But Lewis Dobbin was unmarked in the middle, screaming for it.
James Garner's going across to where the main stand meets the Gladys Street to take this corner kick. Right-footed in-swinger to come from Garner. Lots of players just behind the penalty spot, and a bit of activity in the 6-yard box as well. In it comes from Garner, flicked onto the near post by Will Hughes. It's going to go out on the other side for a corner to Everton, where the Bullens Road meets the Gladys Street end, as Everton's pressure continues. 1-0 up.
Yeah, they'll be happy with this. Corner after corner. We know that they're a threat from set pieces. Dwight McNeil with the in-swinger.
2-2 at Bloomfield Road. Kyle Joseph has equalised for Blackpool over on Talksport 2. That could be going to extra time by the Seaside. Here on Merseyside, Everton's corner. McNeil swings it under the crossbar, headed out by Anderson. It looked like Tarkowski was favourite. Garner swings the ball back into the area, headed across the face of goal and wide. Tarkowski wants a corner and gets it from the referee. Everton keeping the pressure on with a third successive corner kick. 1-0 up.
And that's why they're a threat. They've got players in there, big, strong, powerful, but also players that want to go and head the ball.
Bit of reverse imagery in that Blackpool Forest game.
I mean, Chris Wellham will be absolutely delighted it's going to go to extra time, and he's got to stay for another 45 minutes in the gold.
Garner's corner kick for Everton into the near post and flicked over the crossbar by Branthwaite. Always sailing over the crossbar. Yeah, it was Blackpool who went 2-0 up in the original time. Forest fought back. Tables turned. Jim Proudfoot and Chris Wellham, the big man, are on commentary duty on Talksport 2. If you've got the app downloaded for your smartphone, you can easily switch between our two commentary games.
After our game's finished.
After our game's finished, you can check in with extra time with Jim and with Chris. But Palace trying to find an equaliser of their own here. Still a goal down to Everton. Schlupp working really hard, and he was just being fouled and he was running into traffic, so the referee brought play back for the original offence, and Palace will load the penalty area, I would assume, here. 10 minutes to go on Talksport. Everton going through through that late first half free kick, beautifully struck by Andre Gomez. But Will Hughes now has a free kick for Crystal Palace, almost at the midway point of the Everton half to the right of centre. Left-footed, drills it to the far post. Anderson and Richards go up for the header. It skims off the top of Chris Richards' afro and behind for a goal kick to Everton, who lead by a goal to 0. Danny Mills.
Well, this is where Everton have just got to be sensible, be professional and see the game out. I mean, there's probably no better manager to be able to do that than Sean Dyche, is there? He knows exactly what required. 10 minutes to go.
Well, still a couple of Everton subs being talked to. I think Beto might be getting the call back to get stripped and ready for action for these last 8 minutes or so. Richards for Palace, heads the ball up to halfway. Onana nods it down. McNeil having to run back into his own half to keep possession. Then a neat ball with the outside of his left foot to find Patterson. But then a short pass seized upon by Riedewald, and then Hughes releases França down the left-hand side for Crystal Palace. Mateta waiting for the cross. It's way overhit by França, but Hamada will get to the ball first. He manages to nutmeg Mikolenko, but then pushes into the Ukrainian as he tried to protect the ball at the dead ball line. Everton free kick, 8 minutes to go. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0 on Talksport. Don't forget, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will be taking your calls straight after this game on the Sports Bar. 03717 22 33 44. And Beto is indeed going to be on at the next break in play, because Everton are going to take this free kick through their goalkeeper João Virginia. It goes into the Palace half of the field. Calvert-Lewin was
not a foul?
Was being grappled by Joachim Andersen, but referee said play on.
Oh, come on, it was only a bear hug.
That's pretty much what it was. But the ball, crossfield pass intended for França, was way overhit. So Everton have a throw. They're still not making the change. Beto walks away from the touchline. He was expecting to come on then, but Sean Dyche is just holding fire for a moment. 7 minutes to go. Everton 1, Palace 0 on Talksport in the FA Cup. Luton Town await in the 4th round. And then a foul gives Everton another free kick. Harrison brought down this time just inside the Palace half of the field. And it will be Tarkowski. Wanted to take the free kick quickly for a moment. Looked like he was just going to drill it up to the edge of the area whilst Palace were backpedaling. But instead it's been left. And Tarkowski's gone forward, and Patterson's going to take the free kick instead. And now he's going to leave it for Dwight McNeil. They're taking their time over this free kick, and the referee's wise to it and saying get on with it. Harrison receives a short free kick down the right-hand side. Up against França. Feints to cross with his right. Checks back onto his left. Works it back infield to James Garner. Garner clips the ball into the area. Comfortable catch for Sam Johnston, but he wants to release it quickly and get it downfield for Crystal Palace. But there's no option for him, so he's having to hold on to the ball and then bowls it out underarm to Richards. 6 minutes to go. Everton still 1-0 up and going through to round 4. Ahamada plays it infield to Schlupp, out to the right wing and Ozzo. Back it goes to Richards, plays it along the halfway line infield to Will Hughes on the centre spot. Brings the ball forward 5 yards or so. Up for Mateta, who tried to cushion the ball and roll Jarrod Branthwaite but couldn't do so. And João Virginia just puts his left foot through it and gets it downfield for Calvert-Lewin. Foul by Calvert-Lewin on Anderson. Oh, and a push by Joachim Andersen on Calvert-Lewin.
I think it was a kick.
Well, I think yellow card for Joachim Andersen for that incident. And Calvert-Lewin's also getting a yellow card. Well, it's not a red this time, at least, for Calvert-Lewin.
I need to see this again, but I don't get that in any way, shape or form.
Well, we're seeing a replay now as the ball is sent forward. Calvert-Lewin, heavy touch, allows Anderson to get in front of him. He just clips Anderson down, and then just a shove by Anderson. And that is Calvert-Lewin's last action of the night. He was walking off the pitch at Selhurst Park in the first time with a red card to his name. Now he's striding off, having just been booked, but he's been substituted to allow Beto to come on for the last few minutes, who cost Everton 25 million quid.
Can someone explain to me why that's a booking for Dominic Calvert-Lewin? No. Is the answer. Bizarre, isn't it? I'll tell you what they have done though, and Sean Dyche remember when he first came in, and obviously Everton realised how important Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. His minutes have been managed very, very well. He wasn't overused. He wasn't rushed back when there was a little bit of panic. He was like, oh, need Calvert-Lewin to score goals. Need someone to score goals. Yeah. Waited. And I have to say, his record this season has been fantastic, hasn't it, in terms of minutes?
Yeah, he's been a far more regular appearance maker for Everton when they've had to wrap him in cotton wool in previous seasons. So, 4 minutes to go of normal time on Talksport. Everton still 1-0 up, and Joachim Andersen whacks it straight out of play. He was looking for Ahamada down this right-hand side, but it was way overhit. And Everton have a goal kick at the park end to our right, and they're going to take their time over it. As you would expect.
Not been a huge night of quality, has it?
No, but the one moment of quality is the reason why Everton are currently on their way to a fourth round tie here against the Hatters.
And that's all it takes sometimes, moments. That's what you're looking for in games. A special moment from a player can win you the game.
Yellow card for João Virginia for delaying the restart from the goal kick. And he will thump it left-footed downfield eventually onto the head of Joachim Andersen. Beto, his first involvement, sees the ball come off his shoulder and ricochet downfield. Everton have won it back through Mikalenko, lobs it towards the midway point of the Palace half. Onana tried a bit of a trick to get away from Ahamada, who's won a throw in the end. So still 2-2 at Bloomfield Road and heading for extra time. Norwich still 2-1 up at Bristol Rovers, Championship leading League One there. Mateta on halfway for Crystal Palace with Branthwaite at his back. Loses out. Lovely touch from James Garner. Now Dobbin running towards the edge of the area. Goes for goal. It's a weak shot and dribbles well wide in the end. Good 5 or 6 yards wide for a goal kick. A late goal at the men. Which way, Ian Abrahams?
We won't have extra time here. Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 3. Kenny McLean's last one home from distance. Norwich will go to Anfield again as he did a couple of years ago in the fourth round of the FA Cup. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 3. Couple of minutes to go.
Couple of minutes to go here too as well, with Everton a goal to the good, and Virginia, the goalkeeper, hits a left-footed first-time clearance downfield. Richards wins the header. Ozzo gets involved, and then Will Hughes just clips it onto the chest of Ahamada, who comes in field but runs into trouble, and then handball from Ahamada gives Everton a free kick. Interesting to see how much added time comes from Tony Harrington.
4 minutes, I'm guessing.
All right, okay, we'll see. We've had 5 substitutions for Palace, a couple for Everton, and their goalkeeper João Virginia in for Jordan Pickford tonight, who's looked good, made a couple of very important saves for Everton to keep this scoreline intact. Sends the ball forward. Dwight McNeil trying to bring the ball down at the edge of the area, came off the chest of Joachim Andersen and was cleared away. Andersen there again to head the ball down towards the halfway line, but Garner has it back for Everton. Harrison, right wing, steps inside Riedewald. Right-hand corner of the box, gets back to his feet when he went down for a moment. Good persistence from Harrison. Patterson with a deep cross to the far post. Dobbin tried to knock it down for a teammate at the far post, but Palace get it clear. But they need it down the other end of the field, Crystal Palace. And they've gone out at the third round of the FA Cup in 4 of the last 5 seasons. And it's a long time since they last won a third round replay. It was against Bolton back in 2017. And they're running out of time here. We're about to find out in the next 30 seconds how much additional time we have at Goodison Park. On Talksport with the sports bar to follow. Free kick for Crystal Palace's bit of a handball.
No, it hit the referee, I think.
Hit the referee. And the centre-half, Joachim Andersen, will take the uncontested drop ball and find Gahey. Still playing 3 at the back, Crystal Palace, despite the fact they're chasing the game and need a goal now.
They haven't really changed style or tack, have they?
6 minutes.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
The fourth officials indicated there will be a minimum of 6
Palace don't really look like a side chasing the game, do they?
Not at the moment. Let's see what these 6 minutes of additional time brings on Talksport. Will Hughes driving into the Everton half. Everton might get nervous here. holding this 1-goal lead. Down the left-hand side, cross into Mateta, and Schlupp heads it goals. It's blocked on the line. Mateta shoots on the turn, and it's blocked away.
What a save! What a save, Dance. João Virginia has just made the save of the game. He's made 2 or 3 saves this evening. That is unbelievable. Point blank, reactionary save.
That was Schmeichel-esque, wasn't it? It was like
absolutely outstanding, yeah.
Starfish shape to deny Jeffrey Schlupp at the far post. So there you go. There are chances up for grabs, but Crystal Palace couldn't take that one. Nearly a minute of the minimum 6 has elapsed here on Talksport at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. Palace in possession on the halfway line with centre-half Anderson. Just to his left there is Gahey. Ball whipped into the edge of the area, flicked on by Mateta. Ozzo helps it on. Schlupp's there again. Out comes Virginia. Oh, he's lost it. Comes to Ahamada. He couldn't get the shot away as Branthwaite was right on top of him and cleared it away. Everton are nervous in these last minutes. Gahey playing on the left wing for the moment for Crystal Palace. Rolls it back to Matthias França. França will give the ball back to Richards at the edge of the centre circle. Anderson clips the ball forward. Ozzo tries to turn Branthwaite. Branthwaite on the deck, holds on to it well, and then it's brought away by Garner, and now Everton have men over. Dobbin striding forward into the Palace half. McNeil to his left. Beto waiting for a cross. McNeil pulls it across the face of goal. Dobbin tried to flick it in at the near post, and it was saved by Johnston. Big chance for Everton to seal the tie.
Oh, huge chance. Great play from McNeil. Rolled it into the box. It was just behind Dobbin, who tried that little flick between his legs, and the goalkeeper was equal to it. 2 magnificent saves in as many minutes.
There's 10 minutes of added time, incidentally, at Bloomfield Road, where it's still 2-2 between Blackpool and Nottingham Forest, over on Talksport 2. Here on Talksport, we've played 2.5 minutes of added time. There were 6 added on by Tony Harrington, and Everton have a throw in right by the corner flag, just where they want it, at the Gladys Street end, as far away from their goal as possible.
Yeah, keep it there as long as possible.
And it's going to be Mikalenko to take the throw. Beto trying to hold the ball up at the corner flag. Is he nudged into by Chris Richards? No, it's a goal kick that's been given by Tony Harrington, although Beto thinks it's a free kick. And Palace will want to get the ball downfield quick, sharp. Anderson bringing the ball out of the penalty area, slides it left for Gahey. Still inside his own half, gives it back to the Dane. Now he looks to hit the ball into out to find Ahamada on this near touchline. Finds him well, but he's immediately closed down, Ahamada, by Dwight McNeil. Has to go back into his own half for Anderson once again. Dobbin closing down the space. Out it goes to França on the left-hand side for Palace, up against Nathan Patterson. Jinking run comes in field. França finds Gahey. Gahey flicks it to the right for Ahamada. First time ball, almost found Wells Hughes into the area, and a player goes down. There was a foul on Branthwaite. Free kick to Everton, and they can whack the ball downfield with a couple of players just picking themselves up in blue and white shirts. 1-0 Everton lead.
I think it was Mikalenko and Branthwaite collided as they both hesitated to start with who was going to clear it, and then Branthwaite took control again and dealt with the situation.
So Virginia will have the free kick to thump downfield for Everton. 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time still to play on Talksport. Still 1-0 to the Toffees. Hughes lobs the ball high into the air, bounces inside the Everton half. Mateta tries to flick it on for Schlupp. Half cleared by Everton. Drops over Dwight McNeil, but a good foot in from Richards wins it back for Palace inside his own half. And then Ahamada can't take the ball on the outside of Anana, who applauds himself for closing down the space. Everton have a throw bang on halfway, and they're closing out time here, Everton, to get through to round 4.
Yeah, minute left on the clock. Just get it into the corner now. Kill the game off, get it as far away from your own goal as possible, keep possession.
Hughes might pick the ball up for Palace here, sent it up to halfway, but Branthwaite was in front of his man, but there was a foul on a Palace player, so they've got a free kick, and they're all going to go downfield, and Johnston's going to take the free kick, only about 15 yards from the halfway line.
This is old school, stick it in the mixer.
Yeah, it's the last chance, really, effectively. We're in the last 40 seconds of additional time, plus whatever Tony Harrington might want to add on, but there's not been many other stoppages in this added time period. It's hook clear for Everton by Onana. Hughes for Palace, heads it back forward. Ozzo tries to help it on with a flick. Might drop for Ahamada, guides it back for Anderson. 20 seconds to go. Richards on halfway. He's going to hit a Hail Mary downfield for Palace. Headed out by Mikalenko. And then Anderson wins a 50-50 ball, swings it into the box. Mateta! Oh, he couldn't take the right touch in the offside flag. Went up against him anyway. And it's a free kick to Everton, and that may well be that. But there were hearts in mouths there around Goodison Park. And there goes the full-time whistle. And Everton, the 5-time winners of the FA Cup, are through to round 4, beating Crystal Palace by 1-0. A goal of the highest quality scored by Andre Gomez with a free kick just shy of half-time. The Everton goalkeeper, João Virginia, made some excellent saves to keep Everton in front on a rare start for him in place of Jordan Pickford. Palace fans made their feelings known to their manager when Eberechi Eze was substituted with a quarter of the game to go, but they never really forced the issue in the closing stages. And it's the Toffees who will host Luton Town here a week on Saturday, live on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock, with this final score in the replay. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, Palace fans were fuming in the second half of that game. They may want to call the Sports Bar, which is coming up after 10. 03717 22 33 44. Myself and Danny Mills will talk about that win for Everton. They go through.